And Bidenomics is just another way of saying restoring the American dream.
Bidenomics. That's so stupid. Who comes up with all this stupid stuff for these people? Joining me now, somebody who does know something about the American dream and semper fi to her from one Marine to another, the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Virginia and author of the book, How Sweet It Is, Winsome Sears joins us now. Governor, your story actually is the American dream and not just the Marine Corps part. For those who don't know you, tell us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It started with my be the place where he would restart his life. He would get the second chance. And of course, he only came, as I've always said, with $1.75 and took any job he could find and used that money to put himself through school. And he came at the height of the civil rights movement. But he thought that this was still the best place to come as a Black man to make it in this world. And then he brought me when I was 6 years old from Jamaica. And here I am now, second in command in the former capital, the Confederacy. How sweet it is.
How sweet it is. Can you explain something, Governor, in ways you probably understand better than I do? Why are we so lacking in patriotism as a nation? Not each and every individual, not the people watching right now, not you, but as a nation, we don't love this place. You see it all over the place, not just with young people. I'm not indicting the next generation either. People don't have a genuine care for this country anymore. How did we get there?
I think when you have it so good all the time, you don't realize what you have, they say, until you lose it. Well, hopefully we don't lose America because we can't afford to. There is no other place to come to. And we've sold, unfortunately, our children on this idea of a perfect country. There is no such thing. It's called utopia and it doesn't exist. And by the way, even if it did, the minute that you arrive, it's not going to be perfect. So we have to work with the system that we're given. And it's the best so far. And you know who said that? None other than Benjamin Franklin, when he was trying to tell the attendees at the Constitutional Convention that they have looked at Europe to see what would be a good state of government. They have looked in antiquity and they have found none. And you know where they found it eventually? In the Bible, under Jeremiah 33 and 11, Jeremiah 33 and 22, where it says, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our judge, and the Lord is our king. That's the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch. So I think we just need to teach civics again.
What about teaching the Bible again? I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought up that verse. It is a nation that we've gotten so in love with freedom, and I love the idea of freedom and religious freedom, and I love that idea as well, that anybody can practice their faith here. But we've gotten to this place where we have no faith as a nation, and we don't have leaders oftentimes, especially at a national level, I'm glad you do, who speak about it. It's almost a foreign language to them. If you hear someone say it, you almost say to yourself, wow, that's different. That never used to be different, Republican or Democrat. That was the norm in this country.
Yeah, and we have the freedom of religion in this country, and I love that. If you want to worship this person or whatever it is, then you do that. But you don't intrude upon my right to worship as well. And I think that's sort of where we've gotten. There are a group of people who know what's best for all of us. And what they're doing is they're pushing their ideas about government. They're pushing their ideas about education, their ideas about what religion should look like, what life is about on us. And that's not the way this works. That's not how any of this works. This is a free country. And indeed, freedom is, my friends, expensive.
It's quite expensive. Now, let's talk about what you and Governor Youngkin... Let's talk about what you and Governor Youngkin have done there in the state of Virginia. Virginia is not a red state by any means. Many people would argue, probably myself included, it's not even really a purple state. It was quite blue for a while, and I'm sitting here talking to Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, who works just underneath Governor Glenn Youngkin. How did that happen?
Well, because I think the Democrats, the ultra-left Democrats, when they had total control of government, they went a bridge too far. And that's what absolute power will do. And especially in a philosophy that says we always know what's best for the populace. And unfortunately, they shut down our schools and told us how they would educate our children, as if they don't teach us that already. They shut down our houses of worship and said, we will tell you how you will conduct your lives when it comes to your religious beliefs. And then they shut down our businesses when they said, we will decide which businesses are essential and which ones aren't. Well, there were enough Democrats and independents who said, oh no, you all have gone too far. You've lost your minds. Our children aren't learning. I have lost my business as a result of what you've done. And we're not going to sit and take this anymore. What happened?
Governor, you and Governor Youngkin are focused on the Secure Your Vote initiative. Can you explain to people what that is and why this is something the GOP as a whole, all 50 states of them, should be doing the same thing?
Well, we know that in Virginia, anyway, that we have been losing when it comes to the absentee ballots and early voting. We can't afford to do that. We've been going into election day, 10,000 votes down, 14,000 votes down. That's not going to work. So we have, of course, absentee ballots, and we've got to start doing absentee ballot voting. They, on the other side, they're getting their voters who are not likely to vote unless the presidential election or a gubernatorial election. They are getting those people to the polls by getting the ballots in their homes 45 days before election day. We have to do the same on the Republican side, because if one company, let's say, has a bite at the pie for 45 straight days and the other company doesn't show up until election day, who do you think is most likely to win? So I'm not even voting at the polls anymore. I'm voting absentee ballot. And here's the thing, finally, when I got my letter telling me that they received my application, they said from now on, the election board said from now on, they will send a ballot 45 days to my home for every special election, every general election, every primary election. I don't have to do anything. And it's sitting here for a whole 45 days. Think about that.
Delivered to your home. The vote delivered to your home. That way you never have to remember to wake up on a Saturday here in Texas. All right, before I let you go, Governor, tell me about this wonderful book.
Yes, so my book, How Sweet It Is really about the American dream and about some of the tragedies that I've faced, and that we have to rise up from the ashes. That you can't waddle and after you grieve, you've got to get up and keep moving. This is your one life, and this is all, when you have children, you've got to make sure that you show them the way, you give them hope. And it also talks about some of the political, I want to say, idiocracy that I faced being a Black Republican, and how we just need to let each other be. And by the way, I hope that as Republicans, if I don't vote as a, Democrat, then I am not Black enough. I think we need to just let each other be and vote however you want to, and let's come together for the good of the nation.
Governor, rooting for you. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
I have great news. If you enjoyed that, I have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to. Whatever I do, it'll be right there on YouTube. So go subscribe today.